Hey everybody, it's Norman Woods. Today I'm going to teach you how to do a backside flip.
Baby, please come close to me.
Before I get into the tutorial, I want to talk to you guys about Collage, which is my brand. Head on over to www.collagesskateboards.com. We've got decks available there in 8.0, 8.25, and 8.5. We've also got t-shirts in short and long sleeve, as well as some totes. I'd also like to talk about my Patreon. If you want to get FaceTime or Zoom lessons with me, you can do that by becoming a member of my Patreon, and I'll have that linked below. First things first, you should be able to do a backside 180. You should also be able to do a kickflip. I'd say once you learn the first of the 3 kickflips that I mentioned in my kickflip tutorial, you can move on to the backside flip. Really quickly, the first kickflip that you learn, it's kind of like your feet are closer together than they will be later on, and your front foot is angled. The toes of your front foot are angled towards the nose of the board, and as soon as you pop and the board starts to become vertical, you kind of kick down, right? And it creates that flip. That's kind of the way the first kick flips were done. If you go back and look at footage of the first kick flips, they're all kind of done like that. There was no flick like you would call it today. So once you've got that first type of kick flip down, and you can do a back 180, and then you can move on to backside flips. So the first thing we'll go over is the foot position. You're gonna have your back foot in the ollie box. I talk about the ollie box in several of my other videos, definitely in the how to ollie higher video, and also in the kickflip video. So if you go back and look at those, I think I also use it in my backside big spin video. So if you wanna check out those, I'll leave the descriptions below. You're gonna have your back foot in that ollie box, and your front foot, you're gonna have the toes about 1 inch back from the bolts. You are gonna have your front foot's toes angled towards the nose, and you wanna try to have as little of your front foot on the board as you can balance with on there. A reference is Nigel Houston. Go watch some of his skate videos and you'll notice when he does anything with a backside flip or a kickflip back tail, backside flip fakie nose grind, kickflip back lip, kickflip back smith, he's gonna barely have any of his front foot on the board. This just makes it easier to get the flick done consistently, and that's why I recommend starting backside flips as soon as you can do that first type of kickflip, right? So you've got your feet in the right position, back foot's over the ollie box, your front foot's toes are angled towards the nose. You got as little of your front foot on the board as you can balance with, so basically just your toes. The next thing to do is start rotating your shoulders front side, so away from the direction you're going to be popping, right? And the faster you do this, the more spring you're going to have to come back with. So it's up to you how quickly you want to rotate. In the beginning, you're going to be rotating slower. You're going to rotate your shoulders the opposite direction that you're spinning, so front side. Once you've already spun back, you're gonna start to crouch and start to throw your shoulders backside. Once your shoulders are parallel with the board, you're gonna pop. And now your toes of your front foot that are at that angle, you're going to do a kickflip motion, but you're also gonna rotate that foot backside, right? You're gonna catch the board, and for the first backside flips that you do, you're most likely only going to be rotating 90 degrees, and then you're going to be catching the board, and you're going to land with your foot on the nose and pivot the board the rest of the way around. I know this isn't the ideal way to do a backside flip, but trust me, this is the easiest way to get it done. And once you become more confident with your backside flip, confident enough to rotate your shoulders quickly, and powerful enough to generate enough rotation, then you're going to chip away at that rotation. So if your first backside flips are you doing a backside 90 kickflip, catching, landing with your front foot on the nose and pivoting the other 90 degrees, then you're going to chip away at that until you get to 120 degree rotation. And then once you got to that 100 in 20-degree rotation and pivoted the rest of the way, you're going to work your way up to the full 180-degree rotation, and then you'll be fine. But in the beginning, I recommend the pivot because it helps you understand the trick and get the muscle memory that's required for you to do the trick the full way around. I definitely didn't start out flipping my backside flips the entire way, and I don't know anyone else who did. But you know, it's skateboarding, it's a constant learning process, and that's what makes it so much fun. Okay, so you've got those down, and you're doing them with your foot in that first position. Now you're going to want to start catching them, right? So this is for when you're at that second level of kickflip where you're popping the board and you're flicking a little, and yeah, you're just going to add your backside flip to that second type of kickflip, right? You're probably going to be catching it with both of your feet at this point. That's okay. Once you get to the third level of kickflip, you can start catching it with your back foot, making it look steezy and all of that. But for now, we're just trying to get it done, and we're trying to get as many reps done as possible. So same rotation, basically the same foot position, but I would say for this, put your feet closer to the bolts, or maybe just at the bolts instead of an inch behind the bolts. And you can angle your front foot a little bit less now because now you're comfortable and your ankle is used to flicking, right? In the beginning, our ankle's not used to doing that flick, but the more kickflips, the more backside flips we do, the more used to flicking our ankle becomes, right? And from here, it's up to you what to do with the backside flip, as far as if you want to start catching it with the back foot, start popping it higher. A tip that I have for popping it higher is to crouch and rise quickly, right? The quicker you crouch and rise, the more power you're going to have behind your pop, because you're being basically a spring when you're popping. And the other tip that I have is when you land, you've got to be crouched, right? You've got to have those knees bent. Also, when you're doing the type of backside flip where you can catch it in the air and finish the rotation, don't push your legs down to try and land. I've talked about this in other videos, right? That's how you sprain your ankles, bruise your heels, break your decks, everything that we don't want. You're gonna pop, flip, catch, and then you're just gonna wait for gravity to push you to the ground. That's how your tricks are gonna look the best anyway. That's basically all of the tips I have for backside flip. If you want to do it downstairs, remember in other videos I've talked about how when you do tricks downstairs, don't try to pop high, try to project yourself forward over the stairs. And this is a great opportunity for you to go back and watch footage of Andrew Reynolds doing backside flips, because he's the king of doing this with his backside flips. Like, he would pop out, project himself forward, not try to have height. Because when you pop higher, you're working against gravity, and it also feels like you're in the air longer after you've caught the board, right? And the longer we're in that free fall, like the more our brain just starts to wander, and then you miss your trick. So try to project yourself outward, and again, catch and wait. I got to skate with Jordan Maxim a lot, and he is a master of popping his trick, catching it, and then just waiting with his knees bent and landing. Like, that's how I learned to think about this so much, about popping, catching, and just waiting for gravity to push me to the ground. And also, if you're skating stairs, you're gonna pop at least a foot in front of the stairs, right? We're not gonna wait for our front wheels to roll over the edge of the first stair before we pop, or at least we're gonna try not to. And yeah, that's about it for the backside flip. Fun thing to try once you've got it down is to try kickflip front nose slides, kickflip back tails, and backside flip to fakie nose grind. Those are all fun tricks. They all require the backside flip motion. Like and subscribe if this video helped. Comment below what you'd like to see me do a tutorial on next. I know I haven't been making as many. I've been very busy with my private skate lessons. I've had lessons 6, sometimes 7 days a week. And I've also been running collage, trying to make this thing happen, and getting back into filming because my ankle's starting to heal up. I did bruise my tailbone yesterday, but it was a minor bruise, so it should be better pretty soon. It's not going to be one of those crazy ones where you can't sit in a chair for a couple months, thankfully. See you guys in the streets.